Hello. I was gonna start my music reaction channel by actually reacting to some music, but I figured what better way to start my channel than by reacting to the recent outrage caused by an artist that I happen to be very knowledgeable about and who is currently being dragged through the muck for expressing her truth. So this video is really a response to the music culture. Recently, Lana Del Rey took to social media to express a frustration that she is currently feeling and that I can guarantee you she has felt since the start of her career. Now, Lana, please forgive me for breaking it down, but I think it's important to break this down for some people out there. I won't read the whole thing, but I'm just going to address the parts that people seem to be a bit confused about. Question for the culture. Now that Doja Cat, Ariana, Camila, Cardi B, Kehlani, and Nicki Minaj and Beyonce have had #1s with songs about being sexy, wearing no clothes, fucking, cheating, etc., can I please go back to singing about being embodied, feeling beautiful by being in love even if the relationship is not perfect, or dancing for money or whatever I want without being crucified or saying that I'm glamorizing abuse? Okay, people came down on her for mentioning these artists. But these artists are people that she actually admires. And all she's saying is, these women have been able to express themselves without coming under fire, without being dragged through the muck. She's like, what is it about me that makes people crucify me when I am just speaking my truth about the man who makes me feel so beautiful, even though he's not perfect, but I'm happy and I'm trying and we are trying our best. She looks past their flaws and she's like, wow, you are actually an incredible person, and I'm so sorry these things are happening and that there's nothing I can really do about it. As much as I try to help you, there's nothing that I can seem to do. You can clearly hear that in her song Shades of Cool. She writes about a man who is so lost in drug use and has many women, and so he's kind of lost. But it seems like a lot of people think that we should just be pushing those people away and condemning them. She's not gonna do that. She sees the humanness in everybody, and she seeks out the beauty in other people. She is willing to accept what other people find unacceptable, and that takes strength. That takes courage. And about having lots of women, look, for some men, that's just what they want. And if all the women involved know about it and consent, then that's not really our place to judge. And she used to dance for money. What's wrong with that? That is a subjective issue about whether or not she is actually disrespecting her body. And I get it. People are like, she's a role model. She's gonna influence people. But she's a person, and I think she's allowed to do things that are not actually hurting anyone. Now, I won't mention names, but there was an artist who said that Lana Del Rey's music is not good for people to be listening to because it has very bad influences. What about all these #1 hits that we hear all the time about sex and taking off your clothes and loving the money and living the luxurious lifestyle? And I'm not actually saying that there's anything wrong with that. Lana herself has written songs about that. That is what Lana's saying here, is that all these women have been able to write about what she's written about, but she was crucified, whereas they all get to #1 in the billboards, and nobody else is really getting articles written about them, attacking them, their art, like Lana has been for so long. And if you think it's okay to call her mad, to call her insane, to cancel her, because she decided she wanted to speak out about something that's been very prominent in her life, then I think that's really unfair. In a follow-up comment, she says, I'm just a naturally glamorous person, so of course whatever you're gonna see me do is gonna come off as if I'm glamorizing it. How unfair is that? That a glamorous person can be in a relationship, happy in the relationship, and be able to look past all these flaws and say that that's a bad thing and say that that's a bad influence. Why? Why is she responsible for how all these people take it and how they choose to implement that in their lives? You cannot hold her responsible for that. It is valid truth, all of what she writes about. People have come down on her for referencing the lyric by the Crystals, "He hit me and it felt like a kiss." He hit me and it felt like a kiss. It's how she felt. She's just being authentic, and that's what life is all about. Life is about figuring out who you are and being that, your authentic self. Next controversial part. She talks about how sometimes she comes off as submissive or passive in her relationships from her lyrical exploration, and that has often made people say that she's set women back hundreds of years. Really? Because there are those of us who choose to look past things that people will right up front be like, nope. Because we can look past flaws and see the beauty in people, because we can put aside our ego and still fight for that love that we so believe in, that we so cherish. She says, I'm not a feminist. A lot of people thought that she said, I'm not a feminist. She says, I'm not a feminist. So she's saying, I believe in the concepts of feminism. I'm not a feminist. But she is someone who is very much in touch with her feminine side. I can relate to that. And who loves masculinity. I can relate to that. And so sometimes feminism gets a bit too harsh. And I see where she's coming from. They scrutinize too many things that aren't actually that important. It seems like feminists often like to tear down women who tend to love to come off a certain way image-wise. She says, but there has to be a place in feminism for women who look and act like me. Another line that sparked triggers, as if she was talking about being white. Why is that the first thing that comes to people's mind? She's talking about women like me, Amanda. Now, I am white, but I'm also Mexican. Viva Mexico. But she's not talking about me because I'm white. She's talking about me because I am also a person who tends to come off as very soft, sweet, and delicate. Now, don't get me wrong. I have my feisty side and I can stand up for myself. But generally, I come off as someone who is very soft and understanding and caring. And a lot of times we get seen as weak because of that. One of my favorite lyrics of hers is, they mistook my kindness for weakness. I fucked up, I know that, but Jesus, can a girl just do the best she can? I so relate to that. Because I am the type of person who has definitely been questioned on her naivete, who doesn't need to put her 2 cents because she's just a naive little girl. And you may have actually judged me at the start of this video because I care about my appearance, but that has nothing to do with my strength and my value as a thinker. A lot of times people look at women like me and think, oh, she just cares about her appearance. There couldn't possibly be more depth to her than that because she puts all her focus on the outside. She probably doesn't even focus on the inside. Newsflash. People who tend to care about their exterior are usually just reflecting how they feel inside. And I'm not saying that that's all of us. I know plenty of people who don't really care that much about how they look on the outside, and I love them. They're amazing people. But people who look like me, who wear makeup, who do their hair, who think about their clothing, who care about fashion and how they come off in the world once they step out the door. Appearance is an art form. What you choose to wear every day, it's art. It is going to send a message in some way. It says something about you in some way. It is often a reflection of how you feel inside. And a lot of women like us love the idea of submitting ourselves completely to a man who we deem worthy of it, who is cool and fearless and just badass, who make us feel loved and seen and beautiful, who we have found so much in common with. and share so many things with, but life gets rough and it's not always fairies and rainbows. And so in those dark times, if you're able to see the beauty, the collateral beauty, if you haven't seen that movie, it's amazing, then life will be bliss, no matter what gets in the way of it. 7 fandoms have come together to cancel Lana Del Rey. Cancel. You cannot cancel Lana Del Rey. Sorry, you're not gonna do it. There are too many of us who can see Lana for who she is, who see the importance of her music. So I know that she knows where she's coming from and she doesn't really need the defense, but I do think that there are some important conversations to be had here. Now, I'm so excited about September 5th, another album. So I think that all her albums are masterpieces. I've sang countless covers of hers. I am a die-hard fan of hers. I just get her, I just relate to her, and that's what music is all about. It's just supposed to find its way to those that it resonates with. And to me, she's just an artist who does not, in my opinion, have a single bad song in the book. She puts thought in her music. Every single thing she does is a big ol' art project, a big ol' honesty art project. So I cannot wait for September 5th. I wish I could go back and re-react to all her albums for the first time all over again, but unfortunately I cannot because I've listened to all her albums far too many times. I don't think people would actually care. I mean, I guess I could do a re-listening video, but I don't really know if people care about that, but I'll be doing some first reactions pretty soon, so stay tuned.